Block 929. Thank you very much for watching our video. If it's your first time, please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and leave a comment. Today, I just want to talk about business. Many people, they want to start a business, but they believe that they cannot start a business because they don't have capital. So all the aspiring entrepreneurs, most of the times you always hear them saying that they can't start a business because they don't have capital. And in many cases, when we talk about capital, we're talking about debt, like going to the bank, taking a loan to start a business. But what I've learned so far in my experience as a businessman is that when you start a business, a new one for more special, it takes a long time before the business can start showing you some profits. So you don't want to start a business and put the pressure of paying out debt at the same time. So is it very important? Is it really necessary for you to go for a loan and start your business? In my opinion, I would say it is not necessary, because then it just puts a lot of pressure on your business. Say, for instance, in my business, if I had taken a loan, it would have meant that I would have lost everything that I had already owned, because I wouldn't have been able to pay the loan. Because during the process of my business, there was a lot of ups and downs. There were times when I didn't even have money at all for me to be able to continue my business, but I persisted, and sometimes I had to go and look for piecework so that I can be able to sustain my business. So I think if there is a possibility of taking a loan should be coming in to boost your business, not to start your business. So that's why I wanted to have this talk with you. I believe that if you want to start a business, if you got an idea and you don't have enough money to start a business, you can always build up your business little by little. You can start at a small level and grow. Like for myself, I started with, little by little, making a manual machine, a cement block machine, and I was actually delivering myself. I would sell one machine and travel all the way to Blantyre to deliver. And what I did also, I focused a lot on establishing a good relationship with my customers. Because my business was based on Facebook, I tried my best to share the ideas that I had in my mind, and I also shared people that I'm honest in my business and I'm trustworthy. This is very important in a small business, because most of the times people think that for you to be able to make money, you should be hoodwinking your customers. But this is wrong. You should be trying as much as possible to sell your honesty to your customers. If you do that, so why is it very important for you to sell your trust to your customers? It is very important because if your customers believe you and if they trust you, they will be able to give you a loan without any interest. What do I mean when I say a loan? Say, for example, in my business, if somebody came at the time and asked me to make a machine for them, at this time is when I had already started making the mechanic machine, and the machine was selling at least over $1,000. But most of the people will come and say, Ted, I want the machine, and I'll ask them to pay a deposit. The deposit will be half down, so they will pay me somewhere around $500 as a deposit. This acts as a loan, although at the end of the day, I don't have to pay interest on it. So instead of you going to the financial institution, this time around now, you are getting loan from your own. So many people, they will be saying, but Ted, how can you say that? How can you tell me that I can be able to get a loan from a customer, but then the customers don't know me? That's why I'm saying that when you are starting a business, you should have the patience to say, okay, and have long-term goals to say, I'm starting this business and I want by the end of 5 years to be at this level. So you need to set up your long-term goal and also split that long-term goal into short-term goals. So like for myself, what I did, I had moved from South Africa to come and start a business in Malawi. It was a new territory. I had stayed in South Africa for about 15 years, so I didn't know much about business in Malawi. So when I came back, the first thing that I did was to first understand how things work in Malawi. I mean, being outside my country for 15 years, when I came back, I found that everything had changed. People had changed. Every time people are changing. If you have left Malawi 20 years ago, you come now, you will be coming to a very different place. The people have completely changed. People are no longer the same as they were. So the first thing that I did was to understand how things work at that time in Malawi. Also understand how people think. Because when you are South Africa itself is almost like a Western country, because the way things operate there is not the same as things work in Malawi. So if you're coming there after staying 15 years, you were expecting that everybody will be thinking and operating at the same level. But when I came here, it was totally different. So at first I had to understand, but it didn't mean that what I had learned in South Africa I have to throw it in the dustbin. No, it was very important. It's whatever you learn when you are outside Malawi, wherever you are, whether you are in the UK, United States, whatever you learn is very valuable information in Malawi. But then you need to come here and find out a way of linking that knowledge and the knowledge that is already existing in Malawi and link it to fuse it together. That's where most people make a mistake. So that's what I did. Then I had to understand. The second thing that I did was to make sure that people need to know me. How can you do a business in a country when people don't know you? So I had to aim at people so that they can know me. So how did I do it? I was lucky at the time that there was social media, there was Facebook. So Facebook offered as a platform for me to expose my talent, to expose my knowledge, and to expose myself, to sell myself to the people. So I spent almost 5 years selling myself. And I made a lot of noise on Facebook. Those who have been following me, they would see that yes, it's true. And I made sure that whatever I was posting on Facebook was something of substance. It's very important that I had to build a reputation. I had to build trust. And I had to also make sure that I'm telling the people that I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm doing. And this helped me eventually, because then at the end of the day, in the field that I was in, which was cement blocks, whenever people were talking about cement blocks, they were now talking about Ted Wereveta. So after that, that's when I started now saying, okay, now this is the time for me. I've built the trust, I've built the clientele. I need to now start coming off with products. Now, when you're coming up with a product to a new market, you need to make sure that you do things differently. So what did I do differently from what everybody else do? In Malawi, many people don't offer guarantee of the products. I started offering guarantee. In Malawi, people don't care about offering training for the products that I'm selling. I started offering training. Most of the people in Malawi didn't care at that time of doing any deliveries for their products to a customer. I was delivering to the customers. So this actually, it was doing a business the unusual way. Some people will call it the business unusual. That's what I was doing, but it worked. So because I had built enough trust, I was now able to get loans from my own customers. I didn't even have to go to the bank to knock on the door and ask for a loan. I've started building a car now. If I want to build another one, or automatically somebody is going to come and give me a deposit for it. They'll pay me 1 million and I'll build the car for them and I'll deliver at the end of the day and they pay me the balance. That's another way of you getting funding from your own customers. So now you can clearly see. But now most of entrepreneurs, when we start business, we are starting business as a family business. And it's very interesting that when I see many people in Malawi doing business, I found that they do business as a sole individual. So you'll find that the man is the one who's doing the business, or the wife is doing another business somewhere, but they don't work together. When you work together with your wife and as a family, as a unit, it helps a lot, because then you can share the burdens that you're facing in the business. You can also share the responsibilities that you're doing in the business. And this is what I did myself. I involved my family in my business. I involved my wife. I involved my daughter in the business so that they can understand what's going on. In case I am not there in the future, they can continue doing the business, because then the business is not going to die, because the main person who know a lot about the business is not there. So maybe one of the reasons why your business is struggling is because you are the one who is bearing all the responsibility for your business. You need to involve your wife, you need to involve your husband in the business, so that you can share the burden. Sometimes we men could have the ability to come up with ideas and be creative. You find that your wife is very good at marketing and dealing with customers, just like it is in my business. My wife is very good at dealing with customers. When it comes to dealing with customers, I make sure that I'm not part of it because I know she's going to handle them very well. And this is what makes our business strong. Because people think that, when they do a business, they shouldn't involve their spouse. Their spouse shouldn't know what is going on. And I think this is very, very wrong. So I wanted to share this. Do you really need to get a loan before you start a business, or to get a loan to start your business? I would say don't, because you are just going to put a lot of pressure, and unless you know that you have done your homework and you're sure that when you get that money, your business is going to take off immediately. And that is not a guarantee in today's business world. In today's business world, your customers, they first need to buy you before they can buy your products. So you need to work a lot on yourself. You need to work a lot to sell yourself. And then you can now start your business. Even when you start a business, customers of today, they take long to change, to come and embrace a new product or a new new kid on the block. So you have to give yourself enough time so that you can be able to establish that relationship, establish that trust, and then make sure that now you can dominate on the market. And then you can start going to look for a loan. If I should go now and look for a loan to boost my business, I know I'll be able to pay that loan because I have done the groundwork, and it's now almost 7 years since I started my business, and which means that I now know the pros and cons of the areas of the business that I'm in, and also I know where my business is standing. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment, and you can always ask me for new topics that I can discuss with you. Thank you.